What's going on, y'all? Episode number 12, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, J.H. Gibbons.
And as we'll see,
And we want to welcome you to yet another episode of the Achromous podcast. Here we are, another Sunday, down through another week. And I just need to take a pause here. And of course, the sad news that we received on Friday about the passing of DMX, a hip hop legend, a legend of the genre, a legend of the art. Man, I real quick, I have a really cool DMX story to tell. So back when I was younger, I was in daycare. And Miss Matthews was she was one of our, I guess, teachers or counselors or adults there. And we were a bunch of crazy kids, of course, as all kids are when they're that young, and we're all hyped up on juice and sugar cookies and stuff like that. And every single time she would always say the line, "Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here." She would
yeah,
do that
up
all
in
the
here.
time. I lie to you not. For like the 5 or 7 years I was there, that was her line, that was her thing. And I'm sitting there, who is she getting this from? Who is she getting this? And of course it's DMX. And I'm like, okay, who's DMX? Let me learn more about him. And I learned more about his style, about his rawness, about his realness. Seen him in movies. I saw the tribute he did with Aaliyah when she passed, and I was hooked ever since, man. And it's seeing him pass, and seeing others who were such an integral part of our childhood pass. It definitely takes a little bit from you, man.
Yeah, it hits different. This one is another one
Hmm.
that, oh, you feel it. Especially was very nostalgic, like you just shared with your story, and then I remember, just kind of growing up on his music and just times just with the old Walkman, the
Yeah.
old CD
Oh my
spinning one and
God.
just
Uh,
playing it and just listening to the lyrics in a way where for me personally a lot of it was relatable and
yeah.
in my life. So it was like it was raw, it was real, and
Mm,
it was genuine, especially where you felt like the religious aspect of it, where this person is just battling
mm,
inner issues, and
yep.
as an adult you understand that even more. So it's
Hmm.
like may his soul, may he rest
Absolutely.
peacefully in paradise, and so all the greats we've lost, and this is another one. But the beautiful part is that he's given so much in what he has, and his legacy is going to carry on. It's going to carry on forever
It
in a
will.
way he will not be forgotten. He was so
No.
unique and just so
Yeah.
different, and when he came, he took the world by storm.
You did.
And even younger kids to this day and age, they know who DMX
Oh
is.
yeah, you do.
They may not know who some other folks are out there, and I won't put them on blast to embarrass anyone, but they know who
Yeah.
DMX is, and
Absolutely
that's the
do.
difference. That's when
Yeah, as you
real.
said, I mean, he was real. He was raw. What you saw is what you got, man. And I know for sure, like that sort of aspect is missing from society today. That realness, that rawness, that person that man. Yeah, he's a different kind of guy.
Hmm.
And yes, the battling through life as he was, but he never lost faith, man. he
Hmm.
he he was such a faithful man, such a God-fearing man. And like you said, man, may his soul rest in peace. Prayers and condolences for his family,
Yeah.
his friends, all the fans around the world, who loved DMX and loved his art and what he was able to offer for the world. So rest in peace, DMX.
Rest in peace.
um Thank you.
Yes.
you know
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah. But on to some of the other things that we, of course, are going to talk about today. So, just a recap of the perspective of truth, man. We got hit up a lot.
Yes.
We got a lot of comments. We got a lot of reviews. A lot of people, asking us: is it okay to lie? Is it okay to be deceitful? No, no. Of
No.
course, it is
No.
not. That is not what we were trying to put out there. No, of course, it is not. But based on particular situations, based on a particular people that you may be talking to or know, there are certain things that you will feel comfortable letting them know about, and other things that you may want to hold off a bit.
Mhm.
Now again, it's not about lying, it's not about deliberately misleading them, but it's about being able to rectify the issues at hand without things blowing up out of control.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, just that. I mean, I think it's just that simple where, that's what you're just doing. You're trying to just use your better judgment um, as best as you can. And I won't delve deep into it at all because,
Yeah.
again, it's so many avenues we could take this, as we know, as
Mhm.
we did, and as the feedback we received. But to its core, no, it isn't right
Mm,
to lie to anyone.
that's
But
not right.
you just use your better judgment in those instances when you're put in those situations,
Yep.
and hopefully, it's the best outcome that's for the individual
Hmm.
and for all parties involved.
Yep.
A good positive outcome. That's all we hope for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of positive outcomes, man, we have now completed the process of reverse engineering the 21-3 method. Wow. Wow. When you guys get a taste of the 21-3 method, this method that will literally be habit changing for you, I can guarantee you that you would wonder why some sort of product like this has not been on the market yet. It is
Yeah.
so chock full of vital information, literal experience from the guy that you're looking at on this camera right now. And it's, I mean, again, I gotta stress this. I gotta stress this to you. We are taking time with this product because we want it to be so unique, so different, so real, so practical that you can use it the same day you get it. The same day you get it. There aren't programs like that out there like that right now. Some of the books, and I'm not going to name names, but you got to get to page 500 before they actually tell you what it is that you may or may not want to work on. But this is from page one, from day one. It starts through each and every day, and it tells you exactly what he did, how he was able to build the habits that he is still working through now, and what he and the successes that he was able to get through along the way based on the challenges that he faced. So again, this product is going to change the way you look at habits. It's going to challenge that 66-day habit building rule that a lot of experts are talking about now, saying that it takes an average of 66 days to build a habit. Nah, we're going to
No.
prove to you that that is not the case.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm proof. That's enough.
That's proof right there.
And I don't care what any expert has to say about that.
Hmm.
I am proof that it works. If you're willing to commit to yourself, if you're willing
Hmm.
to love yourself, because
Hmm.
you are so damn worth it.
Say it
Just
again.
that simple. You are so damn worth it. We
Mm,
are so damn worth it.
damn right.
So be willing to do the work. And I assure you, when it's time for the release this to you,
Hmm.
you'll get to where you are supposed to be.
Mm,
Just that
man.
simple, guys.
Mm, I can't wait. I can't wait, man.
Yep.
I cannot wait.
Cannot
But
wait.
let me tell you something I can wait for.
Mhm.
Whew. I can wait to get some of these inbox messages that I get, whether it's on Facebook or on my emails from people from my past. Some closer than others. Others I've never broken bread with, but for whatever reason they got my number, they got my email, or they got my Facebook account, and they DM me and say, "Hey, how you been? How's life? How's life for you? How you working? You got a job? You enjoy your life? Are you enjoying your job? Do you, do you want to make six figures in 5 months? Do you do you want to learn more about this opportunity, this limited opportunity?" Now, I can't tell you the name of our company, I can't tell you the name of our brand, but I can tell you something. If
Mhm.
you are not busy tomorrow at 5 p.m., we have this massive conference where everybody is going to be. Do you know Barack Obama? Well, our guest speaker is somebody who went to his inauguration. He has something special to tell you. Just come on in. I can't explain it to you for whatever reason, but he can. He knows everything about it, and I guarantee you it's going to change your life. Anybody out there, raise your hand if you've ever gotten any of those emails, any of those calls, any of those messages, DMs from people that were either close to you in the past or you never really actually spoke to.
Can I raise two hands?
I'm raising three if I had. If I had a third, I would raise three because for whatever reason, I've been caught in this about 3 or 4 times. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about MLMs, multi-level marketing. So just to give you a little bit of backstory here, when I was in high school, maybe after I graduated, about my freshman year of college, I was called from, I believe it was Cutco, and I knew nothing about multi-level marketing. I knew nothing about sales. I didn't know anything. I'm right out of high school, so I was invited to this interview, and we were in this like office suite. I remember it was like dingy carpet. It wasn't well lit at all. But the thing that they did to try to encourage people to feel like this was something legitimate, they had figures on the board and they had names next to those figures. Like it would say Mark 200,000, James 150,000. And so I know exactly what that was. They wanted to encourage us to say, hey, you could be Mark, you could be James, you could be anybody. You could be anybody and make those type of figures. So we're sitting there in the interview, and I noticed, the lady, she brought out some knives, and she wanted us to start using these knives and wanted us to sell her the knives. And I got to tell you, this woman was so intimidating. There was not even a fraction of smile on her face. And as a kid, as a young guy, and you're in this interview, you're like, man, just like a little, let me feel a little warm here. I mean, there was a coldness from her. And looking back on it, I think I for sure know it was on purpose. She wanted us to be able to think on our feet, to see what our minds are thinking. So long story short, at the end of this interview, I was hired. I was like, oh boy, oh my gosh, it's my first job out of high school. Let's go, man. I'm about to make some sales. I'm about to, all this stuff. I was rah, rah, rah. I was really feeling it. And so I get back to the car and I'm speaking to my dad. I'm like, man, something, I don't know. This doesn't seem too right. Like for whatever reason, something within my soul did not sit well. And then he started questioning certain things too. And I lie to you not, I didn't even go to orientation. I did I did not. I did. That was it. That was the last time they heard from me. That was the last time I heard from them. They never called me back either. I just they were like, you have to go to this orientation. It's a 10-day sort of thing where you go and you get all you get all the information that you need. We do some onboarding training with you. Didn't go. Never went. Never even
Wow.
thought of going. Yep, I threw the threw my envelope in the trash, and that was it. So looking back on that, and looking back on some of the things that I touched in the end of the last episode, um it's these MLMs, they tend to prey on those who do not necessarily know about them. They come in many forms. You've seen, and I can't name them for legal reasons, of course, but I know you've seen them.
Yeah.
um you've heard about the calls, you've seen the products, you know about the script that they use to try to get you on board.
Mhm.
So tonight I'm not really going to delve into that too much, but what I want to do is talk about, are they scams, right? Because that's the one question everybody always says, right?
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever brought up any of those names, the one thing that they always accompany that name with is scam. Is it a pyramid scheme? Is it a scam? What exactly is an MLM? So
Mhm.
today I hope I can shed some light on this, man. And have you ever been approached by any of these companies, or any people who are representing these companies, and they try to onboard you somehow?
Well, in my experiences, yes, I have encountered uh, several MLM situations, but the interesting part of it is that it is usually through someone you know,
Mm,
where is this is what you are kind of trained to do. Start with people you know. Uh,
mhm.
so for me, I had a scenario. Well, no, is somewhat similar to yours. I had a few. So I had one. These pretty short. So I was working, and I had someone bring an opportunity, possible opportunity, my way, where it was of a better position offer from what I was
Right.
informed. doing exactly what this person 9 to 5 job is or something similar to it.
Mm.
And I said, hey, you know what? That sounds like a great opportunity to go. So I reach out to this person, and similar to yours, they were like, you know what? But see, they embellished, because they did
Mm.
say for me, yeah, this is about, what I do. Sure,
Mm.
we'll discuss that, and I'll, let you
Mm.
know what's going on there. But there's
Mm.
also something else that may have that be a good, opportunity for you as well. So come on over my house, and we
Mm.
can discuss both of those things.
Now,
Great.
were there other people at that house when you got there?
So when I got there, you had to find parking. And when I got in
Okay.
there, it was like a housewarming party. That's what
Mm.
it felt like.
Mm.
Before
Yeah.
you knew it, I'm in there and I'm sitting in the middle of this room with a bunch of chairs, and then just like, how did I get here? Where's the person that I was supposed to talk to? I saw them for a
Mm.
second as they
Mm.
invited me in and said, "Yeah, we'll
Mm.
catch up.
Oh
Just
boy.
let's go through this first, and then we'll talk."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So then I see the same thing. You get the nice flavor water, offer. You get that, maybe a cookie if you're lucky,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you see the numbers and the projections, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
trickle it down, and then it's broken
Mm.
down to you of how that works, right? So then, fast forward, get to the end of the night, and hey, everyone, sign up before you leave out. Give us your
Hmm.
info, sign up
Oh
here,
boy.
and we'll get you going and get you underway. We'll teach you the ropes, and yeah, you could be traveling to an island every week too,
Mm-hmm.
like our top tier folks.
Yep.
So by the time that was done, and I spoke to the person who I came here to see, oh, well, it's already late now. You know what? I tell you what, why don't you come back during the next session that we have,
Ah.
and you come early and we'll discuss that then.
Mm.
So I end up
Hmm.
leaving, and in my instance, I gave them one wrong digit of a phone number.
Mm. Okay.
So
That's
never heard
smart.
from
There
me
you
again.
go, right?
So I realized what that was, and I was not comfortable being misled in a way where I would have just preferred, as I always say, complete transparency. I wasn't
Absolutely.
given the option of at least having an understanding, because the idea was to lure me in through something that I
Mm.
was interested in.
Yep.
Albeit in this case, this person embellished of it, but that's just a different
Mm.
version of some of those tactics you come into. And I'll
Yep.
share just one more
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
where this was actually someone that I knew, even
Mm.
actually knew more personally,
Yeah.
where there was time invested of me knowing this person.
Okay.
And I won't go into too much without revealing it, who this
Yeah.
person is, in case they're watching, but you know who
Right.
you are if you are. And yeah, this person reached out. I hadn't heard from them in a long time.
Mm.
Uh, I think the timing of them reaching out probably weren't the best time for me in my life at this point.
Mm.
So I wasn't in the ideal state to deal with that. But
Right.
when they did reach out to me, it didn't feel sincere. It was a,
Mm.
hey, how you been? It's
Right.
been a long time since we caught up.
You
We
almost had
really
to
should
look at their
talk.
number and their name.
Hmm.
You're like, what? Where do I remember this person from? I
Yeah,
catch
like,
up, but
oh, you seem to be
yeah,
eager to want to reach out to me now. This is a little
strange.
weird. Here, Scratcher.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so it was one of those things where based on what was said, it was enough in the content of what was said to me that I understood what it was. So this
Mm.
person, I just couldn't deal with. I couldn't take the idea of like, how dare you reach out to me that way when you could just tell me, hey, I got this thing going on. I
Mm.
need numbers. Can you
Oh
help
boy.
a person out? And we could be, like it could be a little different. You know how those things go, as you're gonna
Yeah.
get into.
Yeah.
But
Right. Right. Right.
but in those instances, it was one of those things where I felt it personally. Like, man, you didn't think highly enough of me, and
Mm.
it was very discouraging to deal with this
Mm.
person afterwards. So I didn't bother to talk to them because I didn't like the way that was done.
Yeah.
So those are just a couple of examples, and I have more, but I'll
Hmm.
stop there. And Jay, you can really kind of break
For
it down
sure.
for
For sure. I mean, and that is the thing too. Like, what people tend to forget is like, man, if you're gonna go down this route with people who are close to you, you're starting with people that who are your friends, who you've broken bread with in the past or whatever. Like after after you go through this with them, they're not gonna look at you the same. They're not gonna want to be approached by you. They're going to think that every time you're trying to reach out, you're trying to sell them something like that. Honestly, that ruins a friendship because it what it does is it's like you're looking at me as a dollar sign. Like you're not, for whatever reason, the value on me in our friendship that we had or relationship, whatever it is, it's no longer valid. What's valid is you getting me to sign up for something that you've been brought into. And because you may be, I don't want to say suffering for sales, but there may be, the struggle is probably real, as it is with a lot of these people who are involved. And so you're looking for friends. You're hitting me up. If honestly, if that person was as successful as they're claiming, they would not continue to reach out to you for your business because they're doing well. If you say no the first time, I peace, good, that's fine. I'm gonna go get my money elsewhere. But they keep reaching out to you over and over again. Hey, try this out. Hey, you sure you don't want to? I'm sure. I'm good. Let's move on. Right. So
Mhm.
if you are going to go down that route, if you are involved now and you are being taught to reach out to close people, friends, family, whatever, just know that a lot of people are hip to MLMs now. And, if you are going to go down that route, that one person that you reached out to may not look at you the same again.
That's very true.
Um,
Very
but
true.
to that original question, are they scams? And this actually may shock a lot of you. Technically, no. No. MLMs are not technically scams.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you why. So, the difference between an MLM and a pyramid scheme, which you would consider a scam, is that with a pyramid scheme, the only thing that you're looking for are people. You're recruiting people, you're constantly trying to get people into your downline. But what ends up happening is that there is no product offering. The only way you're making money is through recruiting. That right there is a pyramid scheme. You're literally
Mhm.
building a pyramid of people so that once you get to the top and you have a bunch of people below you, you can get paid off of the people that they're recruiting. Now, an MLM is sort of similar to that in that you have a downline. There is money made through recruiting, but there are also products that are being offered. And the products that are being offered are being promoted and advertised as such. That's the other thing. Some of these pyramid schemes do have products, but for whatever reason they don't want to talk about it. They don't,
Mhm.
their focus is mainly on recruiting. If you hear something like that, know that it is probably a pyramid scheme and not a genuine MLM. For
Mhm.
example, and again, I'm saying this because it is not a scam, but Avon, you've known Avon for years. My, my mother has always used Avon. I'm sure mothers around the world have used Avon. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen Avon products. Avon is an MLM technically. But again, because they're selling products and the products are great, the products are reviewed and they're well, they're an established company and they're also innovating. They're always, they're always getting better products, new products, and their
Yeah.
product offering is established, it's stable, their company is stable, they're a great company. And so if you were to work with Avon or a company like Avon, then big ups to you. And I know some people personally out there um, who have been a distributor for Avon and have had seen success. So again, it's not it definitely depends on if there is a product offering and what type of product are they offering. I'll give you a personal example. I'm not with an MLM, but I have bought from an MLM, and I don't know if you know about this, but my phone here, this is an iPhone, of course, but it was originally through Verizon. Now, what I did, because only because Verizon's bill was much higher than this MLM's was, I decided, okay, I'm gonna try this out. It's less money. I'm paying less a month. That's gonna
Mhm.
that's gonna be a cost savings for me.
Okay.
The only downside is, okay, what if their service isn't good? What if I'm getting a lot of calls drop? What if
Mhm.
I'm having issues paying my bill? None of that.
I see.
I've been with them for about 3.5, 4 years now,
Mhm.
and I have not had an issue. So again, to say that all MLMs are scams, that is not true. The only time when an MLM could be a scam, technically they're illegal in Canada and the US, but if there is one that is not selling products, or for whatever reason they're not discussing the products that they're selling, if the focus is strictly on distributors, if the focus is on recruitment, then those are the ones to watch out for.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, then I guess the next question would be to ask is like, how do you, determine if you're, you know, a good fit for the structure of an MLM? Like,
Now this,
how do
yeah,
you assess that? How do you know?
yeah. It's That's a good question. So I mean, honestly, I think the one way to think about it is, this is somewhat of a glorified sales position, and I know it's going to hurt a lot of people saying that, from both people that are in it and people that are promoting it, but that's pretty much what it is. So I think the one thing that you got to ask yourself, if you do want to get involved, and again, I'm not against the ones that actually work. I'm not against the ones that provide a genuine service to people, but you have to understand that it is a sales position.
Mhm.
You have to understand that you will get certain products and you will need to be able to sell those products. Um, there are some MLMs that will literally force you to continue to buy inventory from your own money, even if you have not sold out of the inventory you have. So you can have a garage full of chocolate bars, of these nutritional protein bars that you can't sell to anybody. But it doesn't matter. Next month you're going to get another inventory, you're going to pay for it, and it's also going to be in your garage. So you have to look out for those things. That's a question to ask. Am I going to be
Yeah.
required to continuously buy inventory, even if the inventory I have is not even close to being out?
Mhm.
That is important. But one of the aspects that you have to determine within yourself is if you are good at sales. Are you a productive person when it comes to sales? Can you sell at all? The issue is, when I went to some of these, I've probably been to four of these meetings. Some of them I
Mhm.
went to just to learn more about their structure. Others I was just genuinely curious.
Right.
But when I went, I noticed that a lot of people in there had no sales experience. They had no sales background. And again, let's forget about the sales experience and background. There wasn't much of a personality within that person. So
Mhm.
even if they're like, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to sell, I'm going to do XYZ, there wasn't that ability to capture an audience. Like, they couldn't sell me on something. They probably couldn't sell you on something. There
Right.
may be somebody, initially you'll have family and friends who will buy from you because they want to support you, right? They don't want to see you fail. Nobody does. So initially, I'm sure you will make some sales, but after a while, if you don't get proper sales training, or you don't have that it factor with you where you can
Mhm.
sell products that are probably crap,
Yeah.
it's gonna come back to bite you again, with the inventory issue, and the money issue, and the traveling that you're gonna have to do. A lot
Mhm.
of that is paid out of your own pocket. So
Mhm.
again, if you aren't good at sales, I would say that you should probably train to become better, or just go the other way. Because I don't think that structure would fit for you properly. The
Mm.
other thing that you also have to think about, and I kind of mentioned it with sales, it's human psychology. Can you understand what a human is thinking while you're going through a sales pitch? Right? Could you look at facial expressions, body language? Do you understand that sort of approach to understand if a sale is going to be closed by the end of the conversation, or if it's going to fail miserably? So I think both sales and understanding human psychology are very important. The other thing too, have an established network. So a lot of the people who are those same folks that come in, like I used the Barack Obama reference earlier,
Yeah.
but what happens is that there are a lot of people who join and grow within these MLMs, and they get really high on these companies, but they already have a network, right? They already have tons and tons of people. They're probably coming from a Fortune 500 company that they've worked for. They probably used to be a director of marketing somewhere, and so they have a lot of people that they've already trust, right? They already have the sales experience that we talked about. They already understand human psychology. I mean, if you're the director of marketing for Facebook or Instagram or some sort of major brand, you're going to understand how people think. So you can take that experience, you take that know-how, you take that knowledge, and if you can work it into an MLM, you're gonna be golden. You're gonna make money in it because you're gonna be able to encourage people to not only recruit others below you but buy the products. And I think that is absolutely important. So to have an established network of people that you can go to, especially for your initial sales and your initial recruitment. And again, if your network is full of other directors or senior managers, you're golden because then they also have a network that they can go to.
Right.
So you have a much better advantage as a director of marketing for Facebook than you do as a as an administrative assistant at a lower level company. It's just it there though that is something that is absolutely vital to have if you're thinking of joining. If you're going to have any success at all, if you're going to make any sales, if you're going to be able to recruit people, you need to have a network. Another thing too, and I know I'm going in because I want you guys to use this and understand this as you're going out there. If you decide that you ever wanted to join one, or if you're in one now, this is useful information for you. Make sure you review the products. So
Mm,
there was this one MLM that I was recruited to join, and their their featured product, they had other products and they were very overpriced. I mean, an iPhone was like 1,000 and this was like an iPhone 4 at the time, but they were selling iPhone 7s on the market for cheaper. So it didn't make any logical sense for me to buy that product on their website or on
mhm.
whoever, the independent business owner's website, because there's no reason for me to do it unless I'm
Right.
just doing it in good faith. It didn't make actual good sense to do so.
Right.
So their featured product was a landline phone that had this video camera interface on it. So I'm thinking, well, there's a Skype app, there's Zoom, there are
Mm,
all these
that's
different
true.
apps that you can have, right? I mean, you have a camera on your phone, you could FaceTime people if you have iPhone, and it didn't make any sense that a product like that was going to sell. So if you know that the products that are featured in your MLM have bad reviews, they're overpriced, they are no longer a viable product in the market, then that's something that you will want to avoid because it is going to be very hard for you to sell. Now, again, if you have the network that I talked about, if you are the strongest person in sales, if you understand human psychology, it is possible to have some success, but it is rare. It is very, very difficult, and you're better off just filling out an application for a sales position somewhere else. And the last one I want to touch on is persistence and consistency. Now, if you don't have any of those other things I talked about, persistence and consistency is still not going to matter. You're still not going to be able to hit those levels that some of these VIPs are hitting, at least not in a 5 to 10 year span. It would not work if you don't have those other things. Now, can you get some of those things along the way? Sure, you can go to a sales class, you can study human psychology, you can build up your network, you can advise other products or go to a company that has really good selling products, but persistence and consistency alone is not going to get you any success. So those I think are the key points. If you are involved in an MLM or you want to get involved in an MLM, again, kudos to you because it is extremely tough to be able to make a living off of it.
Yeah.
But if you want to try your hand on it, if you want to go into it, allow those 5 items, those 5 things I just discussed to be your guiding light. Be good at sales, understand human psychology, have an established network, have the ability to review the products, make sure those products are clean, make sure they're, if they're fitness products, make sure they're FDA approved. Like
Mm,
all of those things matter. And then on top of all of that, you have to be persistent and consistent in your approach.
wow. That's very informal. Would you say in those 5 things, is there any particular order that you think would lead to success? More so, because I mean, you
Um
have to be productive, I guess, in all of those things, right? So it's like,
yeah, I mean, you could be productive in each one of those things. I if I had to give an order to it, I would say the easiest one, or at least the smallest barrier to entry is probably studying human psychology. Like
Mm,
you can do this on YouTube, tonight, right? You can look at human psychology videos, you can try to understand body language, learn some more of that. In terms of sales, you can go on like Udemy. There's an app called Udemy. There's other like virtual education apps that you can learn something like that on. Of course, I definitely suggest that you have practical experience too, because there's only so much you can do on a course. But
see,
if you want to actually get into sales, you got to sell. I mean, that's just the way it is. There's no better experience than experience. So you just got to dive in. So I'll say human psychology, I would say sales. I would say work on your network too.
yeah,
Even if you're not part of an MLM yet, start developing a network. Go to networking events in the industry that you want to get into. I mean, you could do a quick Google search, see who's hosting. Maybe not now during COVID because of what's going on, but there are definitely master classes online that you can look up. Go to ones that you want to learn about, that you believe that are practical enough for you to jump right on in once you're done watching. And of course, I think I want to say the next one would be to review the products, because I think if you have not joined an MLM, then reviewing the products is going to be that entry that you're looking for. So if you see a company that is boasting certain products that are terrible or have been under scrutiny, or bad press, bad reviews,
yeah,
if you're seeing it, everybody else can, right? The internet is accessible to anyone that has any type of connection. So they're able to
mm,
see what you're able to see. So I would go for products that are rated highly, that aren't too expensive, that a lot of people are liking and loving and boasting and promoting. Go towards those more than companies that are trying to somewhat hide their products, or tell you that recruiting is the most important aspect and not necessarily the products. Again, those are the ones that you want to watch out for. And then finally, persistence and consistency. I think when you're in it, when you're involved, that is probably the last domino to fall there. I think in anything that you do, whether it is MLM, or regular sales, or any job that you have to be persistent and consistent to keep your job. So, and to excel, period. So I think that would be the right order, for those aspects that I believe you need to have to be a good fit for the MLM structure.
that's great. I think that's a really good breakdown of it. A good plan for those out there who may have encountered this and said, you know what, yeah, there are some really good MLMs. Maybe I can give this a shot.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm right on course with where I need to be with it, and just give it a go, just see how it works for you. I personally, for me, that's not my thing. I've been in
Yeah,
sales
me
before,
neither.
and I was extremely great at it. But I think it's one of those things where you really have to enjoy that
Mhm.
part of it, like in order to do it and be consistent, as you said, Jay.
Yep.
Like and persistent about strengthening your craft, if you will,
Mhm.
so that you can perfect it and become good at it.
Yep.
Because as you stated, Jay, like with your phone, for example, like you encountered a good instance of it. Me personally, I haven't,
Mhm.
but that's
Right,
not to
right,
say
right.
that they, I haven't wrote them off. But
Right.
listening to you being able to explain that gives me a better insight personally, to have a good understanding as to if I do encounter it again, the
Definitely.
things I should look for. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping everyone else out here as well, and Chroma's fam, and newer guests as well, can take some notes from that,
Yep.
because I think that was very informal. So thank you, Jay, for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
So any things that you would want to say at this point to kind of like enlighten our Chroma's fam, regarding what they should be looking forward to next, as it relates to this, like with their own experiences, like maybe thinking about like we shared ours, and like factoring that in into like if it's something they are interested in, or if they encounter for future reference.
Yeah, I think for starters, like anyone out there, all of you guys, man, we're looking out for you. We want the best for you. We want you to succeed. So we're not going to plug anything or say anything that's going to lead you astray. Again, I will say that this is it's a very, very difficult thing to be successful in. Very, very few succeed. However, the ones that do succeed end up doing really, really well. Um, Again, there are tons and tons of other positions that you can take in this world other than going this route. But if your heart just desires to do so, try your hand at it. But understand that those things that I mentioned before are a core piece of your success if you want to be even remotely successful in it. I do want to ask you, for those that have been in it or those have been approached by distributors of some of the MLMs that are out there, what are your experiences? Now, I know you've heard ours, and luckily we were, I don't even want to say wise. I think we were just kind of lucky enough to understand that what we were being sold was kind of fool's gold. But
Hmm.
I know that other people out there, especially going through the crisis that we're in now, we're all pretty desperate to get some cash, man. We're desperate for money. A lot of people are still out of jobs, which is extremely unfortunate. So it just so happens that these MLMs are starting to pop up a little bit more now because it speaks to your fears, and there's a solution that they try to tie in there to alleviate those fears that you have, right? Six figures, you want to make a mill, you work from home for the rest of your life, you want to work on a beach with your laptop, like all of those things are promised to you. They're trying to preach you and trying to sell you on a lifestyle that is unattainable through this particular method if you are not the top one of the top 1% of one of the people in there. Again, if you're starting from the bottom, it's extremely hard to get to the top. If you have a network, if you have experience in sales, if you have experience with human psychology, if you are persistent and consistent, yes, you do have a shot. But if you are just one of those things, it is going to be very tough for you to succeed, period. So for those out there, I want to hear it on both ends. I want to hear from those who have been in an MLM, still love MLMs, still preach about the one that you're in and you believe that it changes lives. I also want to hear from those who thought that initially and decided they wanted to leave because it wasn't something that was helpful for them. They found themselves spending more money than making money. And thirdly, I do want to hear from those who were approached. I mean, I want to be able to understand the market a little bit more and see if their approach has changed. I want to understand if their script has changed, if their ability to call you or reach out to you wherever you are and tell you about an opportunity and continuously ask you to join a call or join a conference or join this meeting with a bunch of gurus and entrepreneurs and XYZ. I want to know if they're still plugging that or if they completely change it. If they're still plugging it, that is sad. they need to, they need to, seriously, bro.
Yeah,
Like
no, you're right.
in an
Yeah.
ever changing world where businesses change their approach to be able to reach their customers,
Yeah.
if they have not evolved from that old script, it's bad business for them.
Hmm.
Some of them have gotten really creative, but others are still sticking to that old script as though people don't have Google and can search these things up.
That's very
So
true.
again, I want to hear for those three types of people: people who are loving it, they're in it, they're seeing success, because you are one of the stories that we would want to hear from.
Hmm.
Someone who has been in it for a while and has also wanted the success but just never got it and they came out. And then those who have been approached, how has that approach been from your perspective?
Mm. I think that'll be really exciting to hear the feedback on that.
I
I'm
do
kind of
too.
looking forward to it. On both,
I
on
am.
all ends, like all areas,
Yep.
from all everyone that's involved has been a part of it. Like you said,
Yep.
currently in an MLM. That'd be really fun to get the feedback.
I think so too. And my goal here is to have a ton of different DMs and stories to be able to tell from all these different perspectives, right? I want to be able to tell a perspective from somebody who's in it, who's seeing genuine success. Like I don't want to hear from
Right.
somebody who's going to try to plug sales. Like that's not what I'm asking. if you are genuinely a distributor for one of these MLMs and you are making money from recruiting and or from selling products, I want to hear that story. I also want to hear the story of somebody who is trying as hard as they can for years. I want to understand just exactly how much money you ended up spending on trying to continue to be successful in this versus how much you made in the end. And then for the third, man, if there's like an audio file out there or some sort of recording that you have, just to hear their script, just to hear their elevator pitch, I would love to hear that. I really would. 'Cause
Yes, that
that
would
would
be
be
something.
enjoyable.
It'd be
Yes,
very,
it would.
yeah, very intriguing. I think that'd be a good place to start,
Mhm.
Uh,
Absolutely.
so since we touch base on like starting, do we want to get into what the next upcoming episode is going to be
Well,
about?
oh boy. Okay. See, it's a weird perspective for me because I now have been out of that game for several years, going on 6 years. I don't know anything about these apps. I don't know what a Bumble is. I've heard of a Twitter, Twitter, not even a Twitter. Sorry, not a Twitter. It starts with a Tinder. Tinder. You see
Tinder?
what I'm talking about? I don't even
Yeah,
know these things anymore. And I know
that's a good thing.
I know. I know there's a bunch of them out there that
Yes.
I am missing,
Mhm.
but man, I do not envy you or anybody else who's going back in this scene now where you were trying to get back out there in the dating scene. I
Ooh.
feel like, oh my gosh, I am wrecked, bro. Just trying to hear some of the stories that you've told me in the past and hearing stories from some of our followers and some of the disastrous dates they've been on. It burns my soul too, because I'm like, oh my God, guys, men, you got to step your game up, man. You got to step your game up. You cannot be going out there slacking. And
Yeah.
then for some of the women, I'm like,
But yeah,
ladies, ladies,
women too.
ladies, let's think about this. Let's from a guy's perspective, here's what we're looking at. Here's what we're looking for. These
Yeah.
are things that are some red flags that we are going to
Mhm.
let you know about. And that's the thing. We're going to tell you. This guy right here, he's back on the scene. So he knows. He knows he is back. He is back on the scene. I've retired from the game for good, hopefully. But
Yeah,
he is back out there. So
that's
next Sunday,
interesting.
ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear from this man. I'm going to put you on the hot seat. I'm Mr. GQ. If you've been following this guy, you see the pictures he's taking. My gosh, I mean, the ladies are going wild for this man. Hey, as you say, he's a good-looking brother, man.
Thank
He's my
you.
twin,
Thank you.
obviously.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm the untaken one. So.
Yes, the untaken twin, ladies, the
Mm.
untaken twin. Now, next week, you're going to get some vital information from a man who's been out there. He's been out there. He knows it. He has experience, and that is important. So next week, next
I am an open
Sunday,
book. I am an open
yes,
book.
an
So
open
be
book.
ready.
I am bringing the heat with the questions, man. You know I do it. I know you love it. I'm bringing the heat. Getting back out there on the dating scene. What to look for? What is your approach? How do you know if it's going to be real or if you're wasting time? My
Yes.
God. Oh, I'm going. I'm so ready for this. I'm
Oh,
so
I'm ready
excited.
for you.
It's
I'm
like I
ready
want
to
to do it
share.
now. I
Oh,
can't do it now. We can't
it's
do it.
okay. Let's keep the heat.
I
Let's
gotta
keep
go.
that heat and keep it there. Keep it
Ooh.
contained. So be ready, guys, because oh man, this is gonna be something. There's gonna be a lot of truth that's gonna be put out there. Some people may appreciate it, maybe some won't. But I'm gonna tell you how it's been for me. So Jay, bring those questions.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
ready
bringing
for
it.
it.
I'm bringing
Yeah.
it. Ladies and gentlemen, bring your notebooks. It's going to be a session. A session. Yeah.
Should be a fun one.
Woo.
For
Oh,
sure.
I can't wait. Look, hey, you guys, y'all have a safe week, man. Y'all
Yeah.
know where to find us. Again, it's
We're-
on the hat. You can't really see it because the light's in the way. So I'll do you a favor.
break it down
Fill
for
it
him.
out again.
There we go.
ACHROMOUS. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on YouTube. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. There is absolutely no, we're even on the radio. WRNG Power Jams Hot Radio. We are everywhere.
Tell them that one more time.
literally no way,
One more
no
time.
way that you cannot find us. You
Yeah.
type us in on Google, we're the first search. You type us in
There
on
you go.
YouTube, same thing. Type us in on IG search, same thing. Facebook search, same thing.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are everywhere. You can't miss us, so
Yes.
we don't want you to miss us.
Please don't.
Now, until next Sunday, we want you to have a blessed week, don't we, Will C?
We sure do, guys. Enjoy it. Remember to love yourself. Be ready for the upcoming episode for sure.
Get ready, man. Look, until next time, I am J.H. Gibbons.
And I'm Will C.
Peace.